At Christmas, Rand and I were walking and we were just like, oh my gosh, the eagle flew right over us. And they fish, they dive into this little pond. So it's been really fun. It's been fun for our whole neighborhood because we all get excited when one lands in one of our back trees.
And who gets to have bald eagles in your backyard?
I know.
This is great. Are you a big cook? Do you enjoy it?
I do like to cook. I find cooking very calming. I'm certainly not a gourmet cook. I'm just more of a, this is like the easiest thing in the world. So I usually just do probably a little bit more Brussels sprouts than apple. Here it is, going into the oven.
Okay, so doesn't it smell good? You can
Yes.
really smell that bacon.
Bacon makes everything
It
better.
does.
Look at this.
And some people like their bacon a little crispier, so you could actually cook this a little bit more if you want that. When you're on the go a lot, you really sort of lose your desire for a restaurant. I've been married 25 years, and the next president of the United States is my running mate, Rand Paul.
So you see Rand and tell me, was it love at first sight?
I thought he was pretty cute, and we did talk for a while, but I also thought he was about 18 years old. Rand looked really, really young. I thought he was cute, but I remember just thinking, this guy's got to be still in college.
So there was a bit of a fiasco, right? Was there some decking that fell or collapsed?
Yes, there was a low deck. It was an outdoor backyard party, and these girls were sitting on it, and they fell back about 3 or 4 feet. And so it was kind of dramatic, and they weren't hurt, but it was just sort of this dramatic fall, and these 3 guys ran over there, and the girl I was talking to said, oh, it's a good thing we have all these doctors here from Georgia Baptist. And I'm like, that curly-headed guy's a doctor. I thought he was 18. And so after that, of course, Rand had about 6 girls around him, so I had to muscle my way back in. He asked for my number at that party, and I remember giving it to him, and he didn't write it down, and he said, don't worry, I'll remember it. And he called me the next day.
Talk about, we've heard about the quirky things, that he cuts his own hair or loves to wear the mock turtlenecks, but talk about the things that are substantively him.
Rand is very bold about putting himself out there, and I really admire that.
What I want to do with my time here, and I don't plan on being here forever, is to think about the big ideas, not be consumed by the minutia. If we could pass some rules, I'll go home. We could pass a balanced budget amendment and term limits, I'll go home next week.
And I always tell him, you're very brave and you inspire that in other people. And he inspires that in me. Being with Rand has made me kind of a more bold person than I would be naturally. But this experience of running for the U.S. Senate and now running for the presidency has brought out that other side of me and certainly opened up opportunities for me. I have a background as a writer, and that gave me the opportunity to give speeches and write speeches and help him with some of his speeches, and that's led to my book and work on his book. So that has brought something out in both of us that we enjoy doing together because we both love to read and we both love to write.
What made you decide to write a book?
Wow, I think it first started with some speeches that I wrote. I've always been a writer and I've always loved writing, but it wasn't until I wrote a speech about my grandmother that I started getting the idea of really creating that speech into a book because of people's response to it. Whenever I would give that speech, people would come up to me and start telling me stories about their grandmothers or an aunt or someone in their life, and I got the idea that wow, we carry with us these memories that really make us who we are, and my grandmother had such an impact on me. I thought I'd really like to express all of my gratitude to them and to my mom and to my grandmother in a book.
Right.
And so that's what kind of got the whole ball rolling.
Some people have described him as introverted, cut to the chase, prickly and blunt, versus you being described as bubbly and vivacious and his secret weapon. Would you agree with that?
He's not a great cocktail party conversationalist. He's not a great person to just go up and start talking about sports. There are people who are naturally that way, and that is not Rand.
You know, but she has a much better personality. We probably would have like 2 friends without her. And so we have hundreds, and now we have so many friends we have to juggle them because they're so well liked. And people report this. They say, oh, he's grumpy or he's not happy to be on the campaign trail. I love the ideas. And if we were all at a dinner party, I don't care whether you're right, left, middle, I'd love discussion of ideas, and I can do it in a reasonable way, I think.
In a recent Bloomberg interview, you called Ted Cruz two-faced. Why?
There are, as you get into politics, he sort of has kind of appropriated some of Rand's messages in the past, and now that we're sort of in a little bit more hawkish mode, it seems like he's backpedaling on those. So, you know, I called him out on it a little bit, but I do like Ted, and I like Heidi a lot.
As a former political consultant and a wife, how do you wear both hats with him?
It's a fine line. It is, because obviously, you know, I am a big believer in Rand, and I'm so proud of him and his message, but, you know, there are times when we'll disagree on something, and it's hard, because when you're in the public eye, it's hard to take criticism and then hear from your spouse, well, I really do think you could have done that differently. So it is a bit of a fine line, and you have to be sensitive.
You know, in my life, the important things are my family and making sure everything goes well with my family. My country's important too, and I want to do what I can, but I think if you get lost in things and obscure some of the important things that are really important to every individual, you'll make big mistakes in your life.
So you had apparently the kibosh power to tell Rand if you didn't want him to run for president. Why did you decide to go ahead with it?
You know, I still wonder about that. I told the ladies on The View, I don't know if it was hypnosis or arm twisting or what it was, but in the end, I'll go back to my grandmother. I don't like to make decisions based out of fear, and I knew that Rand had a unique message, had a great voice. I believe in the issues that he believes in, and I think he would be a great president.